Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit that subscribe button if you're new so you don't miss any of our great football content this season. A little instant reaction on Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers coming from behind on a game they could have lost 6 different ways and sort of gutted it out. Between the Colts and the Broncos yesterday and the Buccaneers and the Texans tonight, it shows you, that's why when fans get worked up and this coach is a bum and this player is a bum, a lot of this stuff is coin flip. I mean, think about tonight. The Buccaneers have a punt blocked. They give up a huge return, but yet then the Texans have a 1st and goal, and the Texans, it's easier for them to block a punt and get 20-yard gains from Nick Chubb for a touchdown, then pick up 2 at the goal line. And so they just figured out Baker gets the ball last, and, huge scramble, makes a play, goes 7 of 9 for 65 yards on the final drive, and Tampa wins it. But Tampa had a disastrous special teams performance at various times. Mika Ibuka, a great young receiver, dropped what should have been a huge play down the stretch. They struggled in pass protection with Baker Mayfield. But the NFL mostly comes down to, in close games, who makes the big plays with under a minute 30 left. And Tampa did. Baker with a huge scramble, Baker with a couple of ropes, Bucky Irving breaking tackles on that run. They just made their big plays the last time they got the football. The Texans made several big plays in the third quarter. So it's such a go-either-way league. But I was watching neither quarterback. I mean, again, Texans are 0-2, Bucs 2-0, and a lot of it is circumstantial. Tampa's just made big plays on the road against Atlanta, big plays against Houston, and Baker Mayfield is a big part of that. And I was thinking about this today. I was writing this down going into this game because I think C.J. Stroud and Baker Mayfield both have gotten their teams into the playoffs. Think about this. I'm going to name the quarterbacks right now that are capable of winning double-digit games or getting to the playoffs. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, Burrow, C.J. Stroud, Baker, Herbert, Goff, Hurts, Dak, Stafford, Jordan Love, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy, Tua. Tua's been a Pro Bowler. Trevor Lawrence, he did get his team and won a playoff game. That's 21 quarterbacks in 32 teams. I'm not counting Mac Jones, Daniel Jones, or Russell Wilson, who had great games yesterday when they have the right coach and the right fit. I'm not counting Michael Penix or Cam Ward or Drake May, who I think are going to make it in this league. I'm not counting Caleb Williams or J.J. McCarthy, who I'm not sure of at this moment in time. Caleb's certainly talented enough. But total between all those quarterbacks, 28. So there's a lot of guys that can spit it in this league, but it comes down to, Buccaneers go on the road, punts blocked, returns surrendered, dropped passes, sacks, multiple sacks. Baker Mayfield was a pinata for a couple series, and they figure out how to win games. And it's just like the Denver Colts game. That's a go-either-way game. There's an iffy, sketchy call by the officials. Shane Steichen does actually a poor job coaching on that final drive. He admits it after that he got too conservative, but they get an officiating break and they win. And by the way, they made a great interception on Bo Nix in the fourth quarter, so the Colts also had several big plays offensively. Daniel Jones was humming at key moments in that game. But so much of this game, it's just coaching and quarterback play and who gets the ball last and who makes the last big play in a game. And I know you think I don't like Baker Mayfield, but I do think the offensive coaching is the best it's ever been in my life. And that's why you're seeing Geno Smith and Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and Mac Jones yesterday. That was the best game Mac Jones has ever played. Well, it's Kyle Shanahan. So the offensive coaching in this league is really spectacular right now, and what it allows is for quarterbacks who may fail in their first organization, that eventually Baker Mayfield goes to the Rams, and then he goes to Tampa Bay, and eventually he finds his way, and Sam Darnold goes to Carolina and the Jets, then he goes to San Francisco, understands the system, Kevin O'Connell likes him, now he's in Seattle, and he's going to win a lot more games in Seattle. So eventually, the message is in the NFL, if you're talented enough, you will find a good offensive coach or a great situation. Tampa is perfect for Baker. Tampa's a little bit of a pirate ship, an Ybor city, and a little bit of a rebel and an outcast city. It can be a party town, it can be a retirement place, but it's always been with Jason Light, the GM. They've got tons of talent. They've always had talent, but until they got Tom Brady and then Baker, they couldn't get the quarterback right. Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl, but it was a stacked roster. But Tampa's got players. They've won their division, 2-3 years in a row, and good GM, good quarterback play, and they've kind of now feel like they're in control of this division. So I picked them to win this division. Football is back, and for the first time, it's on Wednesdays from Omaha Productions, NFL Films, and Vice TV, NFL Classics. After further review, relives the NFL's biggest games with the legends who played them and the fans who never forget. Not just a rewatch, but the untold stories behind those plays. Kyle Branch, the host, Bart Scott, and Method Man for the 2010 divisional round Jets and Patriots. The underdog Jets stunned Brady's 14-2 Patriots. It was a huge playoff upset and a cap by Bart Scott's unforgettable can't wait post-game interview. So don't miss NFL Classics after further review. It's Wednesdays at 9, only on Vice TV. Football season's here, and if you want to go to an NFL or college football game, Game Time is the place for you. The Game Time app just gives you the advantage back to you, the fans. It's a hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. I love it. Easy to use. The Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price, 100%. So they even let you preview your seat on the app. That's special. Plus fees are always included. So what you see is what you pay every time. Take the guesswork out of buying professional football tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account. If you use the code Colin, COLIN, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem code COLIN, $20 off, swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. And, it comes down to if you give me the best quarterback in a division, I like my chances to make it into the playoffs. Like Kansas City with Mahomes is eventually probably going to get a Xavier Worthy healthy. Rashee Rice will come back. They'll figure out a way to win 10 games and get into the playoffs. They're too good defensively, too good of a coach, too good of a defensive coordinator. Mahomes is too talented. They'll figure out how to win 10 games. But, as I watch this game, it could drive you sports bettors crazy. I actually liked Houston tonight. So, and I thought they had it with two huge specialty teams plays. They earned both of them. Legitimate block punt, great return. The referees picked up the flag, but Baker gets the ball last and has got all sorts of weapons in Tampa. Chris Godwin wasn't available. He's been banged up throughout his career. And so I get ready for Raiders and the Chargers tonight. The other thing, I got a couple of texts after my show today from people in the National Football League in the front office. And they were agreeing with me on my take today about quarterbacks. Mike Sando also wrote an article about this. Justin Fields is banged up again, and Joe Burrow is banged up again. It's not that they deserve to be hurt, but there is a skill to Brady and Eli Manning and certain NFL players staying healthy. Now, some guys like Josh Allen are just simply bigger and can take more, are more durable. But even Big Ben and Cam Newton, who are huge men, like 6'5", 255, 6'6", 265, Big Ben aged very quickly. Cam Newton aged overnight. Why? They took too many hits. And so Josh Allen, similarly, gets beat up. And I worry about that could age him. Now, he does have a great left tackle. They have now with James Cook developed a run game. And so they're not as reliant on him. They actually run more statistically, if you look at the data, than people would think with the Bills. But some of this is just you've got to know your body. Baker Mayfield, who, like tonight, there's a couple times. Baker's a great quarterback if you give him 2.5 seconds and let him plant his right foot. He throws a beautiful ball. For the record, so does C.J. Stroud. Baker throws a beautiful ball. When it breaks down, Baker plays with so much confidence and so much emotion. When the pass blocking breaks down, sometimes Baker extends a play and shouldn't. And I think that's it's a little reckless, but I think that's his personality. Baker is, he's a fullback that plays quarterback. He's a linebacker that plays quarterback. He likes the physicality of the sport. But even as big and strong as Andrew Luck was, it just takes its toll. So I really do believe there is a skill in this league to staying on the field. Eli Manning was the master of just letting go of the ball, getting rid of it. And there's also players, think how big, strong, and physical Anthony Richardson was for the Colts. But he couldn't get the pre-snap stuff down. He couldn't spot blitzes and would get just hammered 2 or 3 times a game. And despite his size, Anthony Richardson was dinged up a lot. Justin Fields is a big, athletic, twitchy athlete. He gets banged up a lot. So listen, the Bengals are a cheap organization that should spend more on the offensive line. I mean, to me, I've always looked at it like your quarterback is your Bentley. The offensive line is the insurance policy. You wouldn't own a beautiful car without an insurance policy. So it's the most important unit on the field is protecting your asset, the franchise, the quarterback. Cincinnati can't figure that out. So it's just time and time again, you kind of roll your eyes at the Bengals. But some of it is on quarterbacks. Sometimes you got to just let a play end and move on to the next play. And it's very hard for guys like Baker Mayfield who are super hyper competitive. He's squeezing every ounce of talent out of his frame. But Baker tonight just took some shots that he should not take because this team in Tampa has got a pretty good defensive front. They have some nice weapons. But if Baker's not playing, they're not a playoff team. Baker is a huge, the most important part of them dominating that division the last several years. And by the way, coaches also get second chances. Todd Bowles in New York didn't feel he wasn't quite ready to be a head coach. He's done a great job in Tampa. They always come with surprises, always make big plays. They just had a really bad night in special teams, but Tampa wins at 20-19, and that is the NFL. Look at the Buccaneers' first 2 games. They could be 0-2, they're 2-0. They got the quarterback. They made a couple of key situational plays. They have played completely imperfect football, and the Bucs are 2-0 with 2 very narrow wins.